Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. I feel really privileged. Thank you, organizers, for organizing this important event. As you may know, USR Sorensen could not be here today, so I'm here on his behalf. And we are really thankful for organizers to put the dialogue that's also a central work of EU in the region here in one of your one-on-one sessions. Let me begin with the state of play. The dialogue remains very much active, but as USR Sorensen often says, a normalization is not, it's a continuous process. It's not just one meeting, it's not a single moment. The political environment has been very challenging, but engagement has remained steady. Structured and very much aligned with the mandate that EU member states entrusted to the EUSR. Since the beginning of his mandate, EUSR met with political representatives of both sides more than 66 times. He held two extensive trilateral sessions with the chief negotiators in Brussels, and his team continues to run nearly weekly technical level meetings on the ground. This sustained engagement is not just symbolic. It has kept communication channels open, it prevented bigger tensions, especially this summer, and ensured that both parties remain focused on the dialogue obligations and their commitments. We see daily impact. People, vehicles and goods move freely across 6 common crossing points between Kosovo and Serbia, and cooperation in practical areas continues despite political headwinds. You asked about the prospects in 2026. I see cautious optimism. On one hand, we have the EU enlargement that remains driving incentive for both Kosovo and Serbia. We can see that it shifted in a much higher gear. On the other hand, we have, of course, the European path for both Kosovo and Serbia that goes through the normalization process led by the EU facilitated dialogue. Here, the most important is, of course, the 2023 agreement on the path to normalization and its implementation annex. It's legally binding for both sides and remains the main framework. We see that the engagement and commitment from Kosovo and Serbia definitely provides a stable foundation. But what will be needed is the progress that will need political will, the de-escalation and constant delivery on the obligations. Main focus of our work, I could put it in 4 priorities. It's the implementation of Ohrid as the first one. The second one is sustained de-escalation, economic normalization, and the fourth, our humanitarian agenda. When we speak about the implementation of Ohrid agreement, in the last 9 months, USR has been working together with both parties, with chief negotiators mainly, to clarify what are the obligations and what is needed to be prepared for the first high-level meeting. As you probably recall, when HRVP Kallas was visiting Belgrade and Pristina in May, she invited both sides to prepare for the high-level meeting. She's ready to hold it as soon as political circumstances allow it. Advancing on the implementation is an essence. It shows credibility path for both sides. It shows credibility for EU, and of course it's a strong message for people that the EU path, the EU perspective is clear. The sustained escalation in recent developments are very positive. meaning seeing the participation in the February elections, peaceful local election this autumn, and we're also hoping that in the same way also the elections in December will go. This gives us space to correct the 2022 institutional withdrawal. Reintegration has to move step by step, and essentially institutions vacant in 2022 must be reintegrated so that citizens have functioning representative institutions they can rely on. Economic normalization is something that we like to present some numbers to it, to show that IBM, so-called integrated border boundary management that was negotiated under the dialogue is really working. We have re-established technical formats meetings after 7 years. They are important because we are helping both sides to manage daily operations on the crossing points, and now I'm coming to the numbers showing that it does work and that there is a cooperation on technical level. This summer alone, there was 1.7 million people crossing the crossing points. That means 500,000 vehicles freely without any disruption. Last month, more than 17,500 trucks crossed 6-7 points, meaning that the dialogue has been delivering for the region. Why I'm making this point on the economic normalization? Because investors do watch the political risk closely, and normalization is the strongest signal to unlock for more investments. EU is here standing first in line, I can say, with the growth plan of 6 billion euros for the region, out of it 880 million prepared for Kosovo. As it was said this morning already, there are a few steps that need to be done. We need strong institutions in place, de-escalation tensions to be continued, and other steps need to be done to unlock the growth plan. Just to touch the humanitarian imperative, this is the case of missing persons. Under the 2023 declaration, both parties committed to the EU chair to joint commission to support the ICRC Red Cross work, to remove political obstacles, and to help locate almost 1,600 names still uncounted from the conflict. This is moral, humanitarian, and reconciliation priority.
Quite impressive. Doesn't help me for my second question, but still we appreciate that it's quite busy. Let's say on the inside, we appreciate the efforts of Mr. Sorensen and the team. Still, to us from the outside, year 2025 looks a lot like another lost year, let's say, but definitely this one for the dialogue with the prolonged institutional crisis in Kosovo and the student-led protests in Belgrade. We didn't see the usual or previously usual frequency. We've seen beyond 2025 in the past how electoral cycles and perhaps other forms of political disturbance have delayed the intensity, delayed implementation of the dialogue. So is there something that can be done about this? Is there a way to ensure, let's say, a high frequency, higher intensity of the dialogue for years such as 2025, especially looking at 2026 and not seeing anything concrete that will get us out of the current context?
This is definitely most often question we get. Yes, cannot deny. The political environment has been very challenging for the dialogue, both in Kosovo and Serbia, as you said. But if we look into it from another perspective, EU facilitated process continues. There is a continuity. We kept technical day-to-day arrangements running. We maintained political contacts and channels open, as I mentioned before, during the summer. There were more than 16 tete-a-tete arrests, there were deportations, there was opening of a new bridge in Mitrovica, something that in previous years could bring, or as we could see, it did bring dialogue in the crisis mode. This year it was different. We have been working and preparing for decisions that have to be taken on political level at the first feasible high-level meeting with the HRVP. So I'm very assured to say no time has been lost this year.